Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. It's another edition of the Tyler Goff Group Cares. This is where we take one of our nonprofits, local nonprofits in the Sioux Falls area, and just really try to highlight them, spread awareness of what they're doing, what their needs are, how you can get connected with them. And I'm joined today by one of my good buddies, Barry Termott, who is with Compassion Childcare. And we were just talking, this is your second time on.
Yeah, second time, about a year ago.
And so we figured it'd be a good time just to have him back and really just kind of fill us in what's going on with Compassion Childcare, where things are at. So here we are. We kind of, I don't know if we've made it through the pandemic, but it feels like
so.
we're getting there. So 2022, what's going on in the world of Compassion Childcare?
Good. Well, just as a reminder to everybody, Compassion's practical function is really making childcare affordable for struggling working families. And so a lot of our families are single moms, single dads. Mm-hmm. And so how we do that is all private funding. So private funding in this city, if you have a child between 0 and 5 years old, you probably already know how oppressive childcare costs can be. And so, last year when we talked, it was right around $200 a week. That number's pushed up to about $250 a week just because of costs in childcare.
And that's kind of the average.
That's on average,
daycare.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, for a daycare, that's teaching preschool and doing a number of things that we do at Compassion. And so $250 a week per child is a big deal. Mm-hmm. It's a big amount of your budget. And so what we do is we come alongside. And so our families are paying anywhere from 5 to 11% of their gross income. And that comes out to, on average, around $62 a week for a family. And so there's families paying $35. There's families that are paying up to $120 a week that we help out.
Is anybody free?
We don't do free daycare.
No free.
Yeah, we just feel like we have nothing but working families. And so we know that everyone has something to contribute, even if the market wage or market rate on childcare is nowhere near affordable. Every family has a percentage of their income to give, and so that makes our childcare valuable to everybody.
Yeah.
And it helps us out with our budget as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what I love about your guys' mission is it's so much more than just giving them reduced daycare. It's really about trying to teach them about money, about faith.
Yeah.
Really, it's kind of like a foundational, I think, educational experience for these families.
That's right. I mean, that's one of our core principles is education. Another one is being holistic. So when he talks about talking about budgeting, we have resource classes that all the families are required to go to, at least 3 of them. And the number one class, the 101 class, so to speak, is budgeting. And so, man, I don't know about you, Tyler, but trying to make it with a family like you've got on $30,000 a year or less, I mean, big challenge, right?
Oh,
I mean, sometimes you can be the best budget in the world and it's not going to work out. So that's kind of the core of who we are. And so one of the things I wanted to share today is a huge celebration because on April 12, we celebrated our 10th anniversary.
Dude.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
So 10 years, it doesn't seem like we've been doing this that long.
So how many families were you guys serving 10 years ago?
Yeah. So we started with 30 kids and that was a big deal. And so probably 25, 26 families because some families have multiple kids.
Yep.
And then today we're helping 120 kids.
Wow.
Over 90 right in the main campus, which is the old school for the deaf. It's called the Empower campus now. And so we're blessed to serve a ton of families. And then we've got a preschool program where we pick up different kids around the city just for preschool as well.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's going well.
Dude.
So that's a big praise to God. And so probably want to share a verse that has kind of been speaking to me along those lines with our 10th anniversary. It comes out of Psalm 135. It says this. Your name, O Lord, endures forever. Your renown, your name, O Lord, throughout all the ages. For the Lord will vindicate his people and have compassion upon his servants. And so we've tried over the last 10 years to just make God's name famous in the city. And the way we do that is through kids. And we take care of their families from a budget standpoint, but we're educationally pouring into these kids. They're hearing about Jesus, a greater hope than they could ever imagine than a budget they're hearing about that every day. And so we're trying to make Jesus famous through what we do by helping those around us. And God has definitely blessed his servants because of it over the last 10 years. It's been
awesome.
It's amazing. It's hard to believe.
It's cool to see just how big of a reach you guys have had in our community. And just the families that you're serving, the people that are maybe often overlooked, underserved.
I agree.
People that maybe that the average person wouldn't feel like they could gain something from. And you guys have taken those families in, poured everything into them. I want to kind of focus on your families. Like what, right now, today, the way we sit, the economy is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Feels like everything's more expensive today than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like where your family's at that you're serving right now. Where are they at is there anything that's having a huge effect on them right now?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because just meeting 2 weeks ago, I met with a mom that's got 5 kids at home, and her husband's actually trying desperately to get over from Africa and as a refugee and can't get over here. And so she's on her own.
So single mom of 5 kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's a family we want to be serving. She's working every single day here and working hard. And I couldn't believe, I just asked her, I looked at her and said, how in the world on this amount of income can you feed 6 mouths, 5 kids and yourself? And she had a deal at Sam's Club or Costco or whatever on rice, and she knew exactly how many meals would come out of that bag of rice. And like she's like, and even in the end, I have 2 more cups left over. And I was just like, man,
she had it dialed in.
We're just not thinking that way. I mean, most of us in Sioux Falls, live pretty comfortably. It's a really annoying, like you said earlier, to put your credit card in and see that, your bill at the gas pump is just ridiculous. Yeah. And the gas bill over the winter. And when you go to the store, you see the price of meats, but it's just not just the price of meats. I mean, I just noticed the other day, a can of black beans is double the price as it was a few months ago. And so even less expensive foods that go a long way are costing a lot more, and it's having a big impact. Every family in the city uses a car. Every family, I should say, in our daycare uses a car to get to work. And so those costs have made a huge impact on their personal budget. So the cost of childcare staying affordable has never been more important to working families in the city.
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge, it's just a huge burden lifted off of their shoulders, I can imagine, because if that was one more thing, I know just the cost of daycare, like you mentioned earlier, is going up.
Right.
The number of workers is going down, it feels like. Do you guys feel that pinch right now?
Yeah, I think our number one need, if I was to ask this group, hey, do you know anybody that has a heart for children that would want to give 10 hours, 20 hours a week? We will hire you and drive you into a mission that will change your heart. So there's no doubt. I mean, I talk to business owners all over the city. Everybody's struggling to find people that want to work or enough workers for the jobs that are out there, right? And we're one of those. But the one thing that we can offer is we can really be flexible on the schedule. And the number 2 thing is we can really show you a way. If you're partially retired or looking into retirement, we can find you that off-ramp that'll give you a mission that you can go home every night and know that, man, you're really poured into some kids and some families that might be struggling in Sioux Falls.
So it's more than just checking in, checking out. You're having an impact.
Yeah, well, every job you're having an impact. I mean, I'll never say that every job can't be a mission field, but it's sure easy when you see the kids day in, day out that really just need this special focus and attention, and that's what we try to give.
Oh, it's awesome. That's awesome. So you guys got your big event coming up, or one of your events.
Wearing the T-shirt,
sweet shirts.
Yeah, Sioux Falls Soapbox Derby. So this Friday looks like the worst day of the week, rain-wise, wind-wise. So if that's a great plug, planned it perfect again. Yeah. But we just have a soapbox derby. So we do some dangerous things. We have big 5-foot ramps that we shove 5-year-olds down at a high rate of speed. It's super exciting. It's always like hold my breath make sure those liability waivers are
Yes.
signed and those kind of things. But boy, we have so much fun. And literally we're racing 2-on-2, and the kids leave with a big trophy. But here's what I love the most. This event is a way for our Compassion kids, our Compassion graduates to come and race a car and have a great event. But then alongside of it is kids like your kid, and different sponsors have their kids racing. So it brings everyone together. Nobody knows who's who. And we have both sponsors and donors hand in hand with the recipients, and everybody gets to enjoy a ton of fun. So
That's
be
awesome.
praying for great weather for me.
Be praying for no rain, no accidents.
Come
get
on,
the
Phil
potholes
Schreck.
filled.
Let's go, Phil Schreck.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw us out a good forecast.
I love what you guys do, and anybody with children in daycare understands the cost of it, and the importance of having just a really solid place to bring your kids each and every day. I remember when our first kid, and we first started looking at daycares, and there was a couple that we walked into, and it's like, I would never want to leave my child here.
Yeah.
So not only just the stability of the place, but the stability of the cost. And so that what you guys do to serve our community is so important. So I just want to say thank you for all the work you put into it.
Thank you, Sioux
and
Falls.
your staff. And so, what other ways can somebody watching this get involved?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I mean, one thing that we've really made a focus is that these kids, especially as they move into preschool and pre-kindergarten, get one-on-one attention. And so a great way to give kids one-on-one attention, the best way in our opinion, is to just pour God's word over these kids. And so these kids love hearing Bible stories, whether they're Old Testament or New Testament. And so Bible readers is something that you could sign up for and come every week or every other week, and that'd be a huge need for us. There's a lot of different volunteer options. A lot of them we're looking for consistency. But if you just want to bring your team in and bless us, cleaning some of these rooms and these toys, like a deep clean, would be a great way to do that. And even though you don't get to interact with the kids as much, it's just a huge blessing to us as well.
Oh, it's awesome. Well, cool. So if you're interested in knowing more about Compassion Childcare, what they do, check out their website. We'll put the link below as well to bring you there. And like Barry said, they're always working for staffing, whether it's part-time, whether it's full-time. They're always in need for good people to help just really foster these kids and just do a great job helping them become better people and just really give them the attention that they deserve as well. So, well, we appreciate it.
Thanks,
all
buddy.
you're doing, man.
Yeah,
Keep up the good work. And I just love each and every time we get together just to hear the stories and what's going on. Let's tell the story one time before I sign us off. And now I'm open it back up. But the last golf tournament, there was a couple.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
They had just bought their first home, and they shared their story about coming out of addiction, where their kids had been taken from them. Their life was just really in shambles, and then that day they were celebrating buying their first home, having their family under one roof again.
Sure. Yeah, that was last year. I mean, the very first home, there's very few families that we have that are homeowners already. And so, that's a dream of many of our families. They got to realize that. But one of the things Tyler's referencing is this just unbelievable story that we couldn't even hope for, which is this family coming out of addiction, that we were their family during that time, and then they wanted to pour back in. And so the mother said to me, hey, if anybody else is struggling with addiction at Compassion, please let me know. Well, lo and behold, I call her and say, hey, there's this family really wanting help, boyfriend and a girlfriend, and they're struggling with addiction. Their child's been taken away, and would you be willing to help? And God just brought those two groups together. And so to know that they're meeting and under our roof, and that's how they came together and how God brought them together. I mean, I can't even imagine dreaming of that 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when we were dreaming of this. Like, that would have seemed too big. Yeah. And so that's what's happening today.
It's so much more than
it's a family.
Just childcare, which is already big enough.
There's a lot of hurt in this city. And one of the things that as you listen to this, I want you to think about is as angry as you are when you're paying your gas bill at the pump or paying way too much for food that you think or whatever, more than likely there's someone in this city that it is just not possible to even do that. And just know that that's not light years away. That's, I mean, as bad as Ukraine is going on right now and the things that we focus around the world, our city has like hidden people that we don't see. And so I want you to have your eyes open, your heads up to those people. Be praying for those people. Be giving towards those people. There's a lot of good entities, and ours is just one that you can do to help motivate and propel people forward in this city.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. God bless
Well,
you.
again, thank you guys for tuning in. Check out Compassion Childcare. If you want more information, go to their website there. But thanks again. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
We'll do this again next
man.
year.
Absolutely.
Same time, same
Thank you.
place. Next month, we'll be working with the banquet of Sioux Falls, so tune in for that. And we'll catch you guys next time.